Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about the last part of the economics, that is the development. So, in this, we will take three topics: body mass index, human development report, and third is sustainable development. So, first, we will start with the BMI. So, what is the body mass index? It is the one way to know, to find out with properly that we are properly nourished or not. The nutritious scientists call it a body mass index. It is a way, students, it is a one way to know whether the person is nourished or not. So how we have to take this BMI? So that is, we will calculate the BMI by weight and dividing weight by the height. So if suppose your weight is 85 and your height is 1.7, you will take the height into squares. So the formula has been done for you. So what is the body mass index in this? It is 29. So now if the table, this figure is given to you 18.5 to 25. If you are less than 18.5, it means you are undernourished. If you are above 25, it means that you are overweight. So this is the one way nutritious scientists use to calculate, or they have given it the name of BMI, that is the body mass index, to know whether the person is nourished or not. So now our next topic is the human development report. The human development report is by UNDP. And now what is the full form of UNDP? It is United Nations Development Program. So in this, there are three components of human development index. What are the three components of human development index? That is, first is your life expectancy, third is your per capita income, second is your per capita income, and third is your literacy rate for 15 plus years population. So basically the human development report by UNDP is made to rank the countries on the basis of their development. So there are total 188 countries. So where do our country rank in that human development report? It ranks at the 130. So if we will over here, we will compare the India with the neighboring with its neighboring country. So first we have Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, the per capita income is 11,326, and what is the life expectancy in the Sri Lanka? It is 75.5, and literacy rate it is 10.9, and what is the HDI rank in the world? It is 76. So if we take India, which is the bigger country than Sri Lanka, so what is the per capita income in India? It is 6353. The life expectancy it is 68.8. So literacy rate it is 6.4. And where do India stands in the world human development report, in the rank of the world? In the world rank, it is at 130. So the same case you can see over here for the other neighboring countries also. Where do Bangladesh rank in the world? It is at the 136. Nepal 149, Pakistan 150, and Myanmar 148. Bangladesh is also a very small state, a very small country, but you can see that it is not very far behind India in the ranking, in the rank system. So their life expectancy is 72.8, and wherever in India we have 68. So the Bangladesh is a very small country, so you can see the difference. Over here we have literacy rate, it is 5.8, and in India we have 6.4. So it is not very far away from the India, though Sri Lanka is also a very small country as compared to India. But over here you can see the rank of Sri Lanka, which is ahead than the India. So from this table you can imagine where do India stands in the rank of the human development report. It is at the 130. So next topic is our that is your sustainable development. Now what is the sustainable development? So it is the that we have to use the resources in such a way that it could be used, or it could be saved, or it could be preserved for the future generation. So that we have plenty of resources, but nowadays what we are seeing since 1947, when our country got the independence, from there we have seen a lot of development. But through this development, what else we are noticing, that we are using the resources very badly on the name of the development. So we will take the two examples in this. One is the groundwater and another one is the petroleum, that is the crude oil. So now everybody understand what is the meaning of the sustainable development. So it is the that we have to use the resources in the present wisely, that it could be saved and preserved for the future generation. So if we take the example of groundwater, so remember students that only 28% of rainwater are utilized, as most of them goes to the oceans and seas. So over here I'm trying to convey you that only 28% of the water is seeped down by the ground, and remaining 73-72% of the water goes into the seas and oceans. That you know that water cannot be used for your agriculture or any other domestic purpose. So India is the largest consumer of groundwater, that is 25% of the fresh water is being used by India. Why? Because maximum people, nearly 70 maximum people are dependent on the agriculture. So nearly 70% of the groundwater that we use goes to agriculture and irrigation. So now 70% of the water that we use is basically used for the agriculture and irrigation. The number of pumps set increased from 1 to 3 crores during the last 60 years. Now the students, this is the fourth point. Listen to it very carefully, that since last 60 years, the water pumps which used to draw the water from the earth, that has been increased from 1 to 3 crores. Earlier the farmers used to basically depend upon the rain, but now for the irrigation and agriculture purpose, there are 1 to 3 crores of the water sets has been used by the farmers. So you can see that how badly we are using the groundwater resources. Farms use groundwater increased nearly 10 times during 1951, according to the data of 2016. It was done, survey was done in 2016, in which it was surveyed that we have been using earlier, the use of water was not so much groundwater, because basically the people were dependent on the rainwater, but now we have started using 10 times more than during the 1951. So another example is the crude oil example. So the scientists, the philosophers used to give their survey, used to share their views that in the coming 50 years there will be no crude oil, the crude oil will be exhausted. So can you imagine that what your children will use? I think so they must not be knowing about what is the crude oil if we are using the resources foolishly. So we have to use the resources wisely, that our children or our future generation can use them, should know them what are the resources. So there are many things. Could you tell me some examples of environmental degradation that you have observed around you. There are many examples that you have observed around you. Suppose you have done land degradation also. This is the serious problem where soil erosion is done. Decline in what underground water we have done. Deforestation, everybody knows about the deforestation, that cutting off more and more trees. Why we are cutting more and more, clearing more and more forest area? Because due to the growing more and more population. Air pollution, as you know that how much pollution is increasing now in the period of the COVID-19, when the lockdown, total there was a lockdown, what you have observed that the environment get clean. Why the environment get clean? Because the people did not use the vehicles or any other things which pollutes the air. So water pollution, everybody is familiar with the water pollution. That what is the water pollution? That the industrial waste which goes into the water, it pollutes the water. Mining is also, you are familiar with the word mining. Mining activities is degrading environment by destroying land, water, forest and air. So these I'm telling you that you should know that why we are have to be more focused on the preservation of the resources, because if we will use them foolishly, not wisely, then our future generation will not be able to experience what the resources are. The scientists are also saying that in the coming of 25 to 30 years these resources will be exhaust. So in the last I would like to say that you have understood this chapter thoroughly. If there is any doubt, you can come out with your doubts. Thank you.